Hello guys, welcome to another video of Microsoft Azure. In today's video, we are going to discuss about private DNS zones. Okay, we will know what is private DNS zones, how to set up private DNS zones, and why we basically use private DNS zone in Azure. Okay, so let's begin. Private DNS zone, if you just read the name, this is a DNS zone to connect privately with a virtual network. Okay, so suppose if you have an application hosted in your virtual network and you want to create a DNS for that, then you can do that in private DNS zones. Okay, and after that that DNS will resolve inside your virtual network or inside a machine that is hosted in your virtual network. Okay, so if I give an example, so suppose if you have a virtual machine and an application, suppose SonarCube is hosted in that, then you can access SonarCube with that IP virtual machine IP address. But suppose if you want to use some DNS like SonarCube dot something, SonarCube.com or SonarCube dot something DNS to access that SonarCube, then you will have to create private DNS zones and add a DNS entry in that. After that, your SonarQube will be accessible with the host name or the URL which you might have configured. Now let me create private DNS zones. Just search private DNS zone in the search bar and you will get this screen. Let me create it. You'll have to provide the basic details like what is the resource group and subscription you want to use. So I will create new new resource group. I'll provide the DNS zone name. Okay, so generally this, uh, I mean, you should be following some naming convention for private DNS zone name. Suppose your DNS is something like sonar.abcd.net. Then you will have to create private DNS zone with this name. Okay, so suppose I have created a DNS zone name with this name and location is North Europe is fine. You can upload a private DNS zone file to create all the DNS requests or DNS entries by default. Generally, private DNS zone file we export whenever we need to migrate DNS zones or you want to say create the same DNS entry in another DNS zone. If I scroll down, again you can copy your DNS zone editor here. So suppose if you have the DNS zone files and you want to copy it, you can also copy that in editor. Click on next, you can add the tags and review and create. After running the validation, it will give you an option to create the DNS record. Okay, for this you should have contributor permission, then only you can, or you should have private DNS zone contributor, then only you will be able to create the private DNS zone. I have submitted it. So generally private DNS zone is a DNS zone connected with virtual network. If you have created some record in DNS zone, you cannot access that record or that thing publicly. That should only be accessible within your virtual network or some machine from your virtual network. Okay, deployment is in progress. So once this is created, we can link the virtual machine and we can add the DNS entries as well. Let it create. Okay, deployment is succeeded. it's complete. Now I will click on go to resource. It will redirect you to the private DNS zone. So this is my private DNS zone abc.net. Activity log, access control, these are all same for this as well. You can see the properties in settings, and in DNS management you can see all the record sets. In properties you can see all the things like maximum number of virtual networks, maximum number of record sets, all these things, and provisioning status. This should be succeeded all the time. If this is failed, then your private DNS zone will not work. Okay, you can add the log, and here you will find the record set as well, and here you can add all your records. So this is a default record created by Azure itself. Here you will find all the details like what is the host this is using. Okay, so this you should not be deleting it, or and also you will not get the option to delete it. So let me add a new record. You can add multiple type of records here, like a record, cname record, mx, txt, ptr records. I will tell you all about all these records in some another video when we will understand, or when we'll see the DNS related stuff. Okay, so let me create a DNS entry. So suppose this is the record set I want to create. So my record set will look like something like sonarcube.abcd.net. Okay, I will type the a record. If you have cname or something else, then you can select that. TTL you'll have to select. This is time to live. You can keep this as minimum as you want, because generally if you keep TTL high, it takes so much time to make this record high available in all the regions. Okay, so we'll keep it 10 minutes. You can also keep 5 minutes or 2 minutes or in seconds if you want. So generally it will take 5 minutes to update this record set in all the regions, to reflect basically in all the regions. Suppose we will provide the private IP address, something like this. This is suppose this is my SonarCube application IP address. I will point it here and I will add the record set. This record set is now added. If someone try to hit sonarcube.abcd.net, then it will come to this private DNS zone and it will point to that. It will redirect to this IP address. Okay, so if you have just added the DNS record, it will not work. You will have to link your virtual network as well. This is a private DNS zone. You will have to link virtual network in that, then only it will work. Otherwise it will not, because Azure does not know which virtual network this private DNS zone is part of. Okay, we can provide the link whatever you want, and you will have to provide the virtual network as well. You will have to select your virtual network from here. I don't have any, so I am not getting the virtual network. Okay, once you have added this, you will have to create it, and one virtual network will be created here. Virtual network link will be created here. Okay, then your private DNS zone will connect to this virtual network and will work in that. So any resource from your virtual network will be able to reach this private DNS zone, and if any DNS record is added for that resource, it will fetch that and it will work accordingly. Okay, you can set up monitoring here if you want, or private DNS. Okay, here is the option to set up the alert rules. You can see the metrics. You can export templates as well. If you want to automate this private DNS zone creation, you can click on export template. It will export a template, ARM template, and you can use that ARM template to create private DNS zones. Okay, you can see all the details in overview, record sets, virtual network links, and everything. Since we don't have any, uh, this is showing as 0, but you will have to add a virtual network link, just like how I told you. If you want to import some records, you can import from here, or if you want to export this private DNS zone, you can always export it, and later you can import in some another private DNS zones. Okay, so this is the exported data, and this also you can say this is a zone file. If you just add this zone file there while creating that private DNS zone, it will add all the DNS entries what we have here automatically. You don't need to create one by one. Okay, so that's it from this video. We will meet in another video with some different topic. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe my channel. Thanks for watching.